good, YouTube? It's your boy Khalil back here for another video, man. And today, we're gonna be doing a reaction to WNBA stars have lost their mind. Do y'all really think WNBA players should get paid more? Let's figure out in this video, man. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you guys are new, and then get into the video, man. Let's get it.
Players didn't think a recent meeting produced enough progress with a late October deadline looming. Made a statement over the weekend in Indianapolis wearing these shirts. They read, "Pay us what you owe us."
Other players in this league, and I'm sure a lot more would have loved to be there if they were in Indianapolis, and I think that's the most powerful thing.
Picture this. You work for a company that's never made money in 28 years, just lost $40 million in its best year ever, and you
lost $40 million since Caitlin Clark came in and started carrying his mother. See, this is what I'm saying. It's just a bad investment and bad thing to go in because a lot of people are not paying attention to the WNBA, man. A lot of people don't care about the WNBA. You know, me personally, I'm not trying to say I don't care about the WNBA. It's just that it's not entertaining, right? They're not playing up to their level. You know, it's just so many different things, but I'm gonna let the video play. I'm not going yet.
Wearing a shirt demanding more pay. Sounds crazy,
That's
right?
Crazy.
Well, that's
yeah,
exactly what happened at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, and the internet collectively lost its mind. But before you pick a side in this drama, you need to hear the full story because there's a plot twist involving Caitlin Clark that's going to blow your mind. So in this video, I'm going to show you why this whole situation perfectly explains why the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is literally carrying the WNBA, whether you like it or not. That's the only woman I really know for real.
Has zero business sense, and how they're potentially fumbling away the biggest opportunity in sports history. So before we get to the content, my apologies, guys. I'm currently in Prague now, trying to get you guys the latest NBA news, so I apologize. Make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications because
subscribe to my boy, man.
From bringing you guys the latest news in basketball to your device. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro.
Subscribe to the game.
Of a comfy chair to sit in. We've been covering the pay issues in the WNBA for the past 3 years, and it's definitely an interesting situation. Prior to Caitlin Clark entering the WNBA, the major drama that was surrounding the WNBA was how much these players were getting paid, and the fact that the product just wasn't really that entertaining. Take this podcast clip from one of the WNBA's biggest stars, Kelsey Plum, just 2 years ago in regards to how she feels like the players in the WNBA should get paid.
In the NBA, they have percentages of revenue shared for the players. You know, if the owners are making certain types of money, they get that as well. In the WNBA, that's not the case. We are not asking you to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking you to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and this is bizarre considering the fact that
I thought they was asking to get paid what men are getting paid. Because I was all right. See. This is why you need things to be a little bit more, you know, explained and not just go off of media. You feel me? But what she just said right there, all right, nah, I'm not really even tripping about that. I'm not really tripping. They just want to get paid as much as their little revenue or as much as what they're making. So I thought they was talking about getting paid as much as the men. I was like, man, bro, y'all not going to get that, man. Like, y'all need to lower down that rim. The three-pointer is already close. Y'all got like high school, college three-pointer. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how close that three-pointer is, man. That shit is not that far. You feel me? So it's just, and they got a smaller ball. You know, if they want to get paid as much as men, though, I'm just saying they need to bring that rim down to at least like 8.5 or something, 9 foot, some. I need to start seeing motherfuckers get dunked on. You feel me?
WNBA has always been subsidized by the NBA, and the WNBA's biggest issue was the fact that the product was not that entertaining, which has resulted in some very interesting theories as to how to improve the product, such as when Shaq suggested this to one of the WNBA's biggest
It's exactly
stars.
what I just said.
If we just lower the rim so y'all can dunk like we dunk, that'll give y'all more oomph than you already have?
No.
I don't see a lot of people going up with 2 hands and, you know, back.
Oh, it's coming. My next child will be drop step dunking, I promise.
I'm still thinking about.
And it wasn't just.
No. See, this is the reason, bro. Like, why are you like so much? He said, no. Y'all not athletic. I seen a girl dunk. Don't make it. I'm just saying, majority of you guys are not jumping. Even when you're even hecka tall. I do see a hecka tall woman, but y'all really are uncoordinated. Very, very uncoordinated, manly women running back up and down the court. You feel me? And that's another thing too. It's not a lot of like beautiful women within the space of the WNBA. Like, they're all like studs. And not a lot of people want to watch a lot of studs play basketball, you know? Or act like men in a certain way playing basketball. And not only that, but they're playing at a low level of playing basketball. I'll just have to get that off my chest, because you're not even that good in the first place too. But I do get what they saying though. They are trying to get paid the same revenue. They not trying to get paid as men. But I'm just saying, these are the things of why they're not making that much money.
Shaq that recommended lowering the rim, but also Tracy McGrady.
You know, I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life. So to move it to 9.5, it's going to take a long time to get used to that. And then also, like, we're only playing basketball to dunk? Like, I'm not sure.
No, you playing to...
Like, you just want to see me dunk on somebody? Like, I don't know.
Eventually, the WNBA got their golden child. Caitlin Clark has boosted ratings for the WNBA.
Yes, Caitlin Clark is playing good, man.
And the way they decided to thank her was very interesting, to say the least.
Step back.
Now, the reason why we're bringing this up again is because on July 19th, 2025, something unprecedented happened at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. Every single player, and I mean every single one, showed up to warm-ups wearing identical black shirts with white letters spelling out, "Pay us what you owe us." This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment thing either. These players had been planning this protest after what they called a wasted opportunity in CBA negotiations just 2 days earlier. And get this, the crowd of 16,000 fans started chanting "Pay them" so loud during the MVP ceremony that players actually got chills. Nafisa Collier, who won MVP that night and is also the union VP, explained their position.
We get a very tiny percentage of all the money that's made through the WNBA, which obviously is through our entertainment, the entertainment we provide. And so
it's not that good enough entertainment. The entertainment is not that good. You know, I feel like you get paid what you do. Like I don't think anybody owes you anything in a matter. You know, the NBA is paid what it is because that's what it's worth. You know, that's what it's worth. That's what it is. You see men literally playing at a very high level, playing at full speed, just doing all types of ish on the court. You know what I'm saying? And then you compare that to the WNBA, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, y'all. Of course, you're not men. I'm not trying to say y'all play like men, but if y'all was to mimic that a little bit more in a way, you know, I feel like the ratings would get a little bit higher. If you just see somebody throw an alley-oop and a big girl come up, two-hand on the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, and she fall on the ground, I feel like the ratings will go up a little bit higher. But they're so just like, no, we're good as men too. We could dunk on a 10-foot rim, but I can't dunk on a 10-foot rim, you know? And I know it's not all about dunking. I'm just saying the speed, right? The progression, you know, but these women are not really playing at a very high level. They're very much not, you know. That's why it's so harder for men to make it to the NBA, and, you know, it's kind of easier for women to make the WNBA in a certain way. You feel me? So I'm gonna be honest about that. This just is what it is.
Percentage of that.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
But I do get what they're coming from.
Where'd you get all these chalices from?
And here's where this gets interesting and why I said that there's zero business sense involved. But first, let me show you the numbers that had social media absolutely roasting these players. The internet was brutal. One viral tweet did the math. The WNBA is negative $50 million this year.
Oh, it
so
will be my
rent. Divided by 153 players equals $326,797 per player. They need to pay what they owe. Another user said that imagine being an employee at a company that has never never turned a profit in showing up to work in these shirts. And that's not even an exaggeration.
That's crazy.
The WNBA just completed what they called their most successful season ever, and they still managed to lose $40 million. Think about that for a second. Record attendance, record viewership, record merchandise sales, and they still couldn't make money. Now here's the breakdown that'll make your head spin. The WNBA brought in $200 million in revenue, up from $102 million in 2019. Sounds great, right? Wrong. They somehow spent $240 million to generate that $200 million.
Wow.
Remember how I was consistently harping on the fact that having chartered flights didn't make sense for the WNBA? Yeah, this is where it comes back to bite them. But wait, it gets even worse. The league has been around for 28 years and has never, not once, turned a profit. Their total losses exceed $280 million. The NBA basically keeps them alive with a $15 million annual allowance for operations, marketing, and facilities.
The NBA, of course,
over 42% of the league. Now, let me be fair here. Before 2024, the WNBA genuinely wasn't popular enough to justify major pay raises. Just listen to this Shane Gillis joke at the ESPYs.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players.
The crowd literally fell for it because nobody knew any of the WNBA players. But here's where it gets interesting. Dave Portnoy, and trust me, he's not exactly
of course, I don't know any
made a crucial
WNBA.
point about those financial numbers. The finances of the league are a mess, tied in with the NBA and purposely murky. The owners don't want to say how the league is doing because then you gotta pay more going into the bargaining agreement. And now these players want what exactly? Currently, WNBA players get 9.3% of league revenue. That's about $20 million split amongst all players. NBA players get 50% of their league's revenue. So the WNBA players want NBA money from a league that loses the NBA money each and every year, which is why
that's what they
suggested that the WNBA is just a glorified tax write-off for the NBA. Now you might be thinking, Mike,
maybe the players have a point about revenue.
That's crazy.
And you know what? Maybe they do. But here's what really exposes their
tax
lack of business
write-off
sense. And that's how they've treated the one person who's actually bringing in that revenue. And trust me, this story is going to make you question everything about how this league operates. Caitlin Clark didn't just impact the WNBA in 2024, she basically saved it. The numbers are absolutely insane. Indiana Fever games with Clark averaged 1.18 million viewers. Every other WNBA game, 394,000 viewers. That's a 3x multiplier for one player. Get this.
Caitlin Clark, man,
topped 1 million viewers. Only 3 non-Clark games hit the mark all season. The Fever's total attendance was 643,343, a 182% increase in the first team ever to exceed 300,000.
Caitlin Clark go crazy, bro.
Her jersey
she should literally shoot NBA range.
All of basketball, not the WNBA, but all of basketball. Behind only Steph Curry and ahead of even LeBron James. The league made sure that 36 of 40 Fever games were nationally televised, more than some championship teams get. So you think that the league would protect their golden goose, right? You think they'd make sure she was treated well, marketed properly, and given every opportunity to succeed? Well, you'd be wrong, because what happened to Caitlin Clark in 2024 was a masterclass in how not to run a business. The treatment that Clark received from other players was straight up embarrassing for a professional league. On June 1st, 2024, Kennedy Carter hip-checked Clark off the ball for no reason,
for real.
allegedly calling her an expletive first. The refs initially called it a
Hey, nah, for real. They was really treating Clark like so dirty, bro. Cause she was getting all the fame and it's like, I'm telling you.
Common foul? A common
girls
foul
do not like
for
girls.
this play, before upgrading it to a flagrant one later. Carter's response wasn't necessarily the greatest either.
After the Fever
I
score,
ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said. What she said? I understand. That's enough. We're good. She's good.
Angel Reese was
manly ass women, bro.
From the bench when Clark got knocked down. But that was just the beginning. Marina Mabry shoved Clark to the ground in another game, and that got
for real, bro.
Too.
Y'all girls really be having some crazy animosity towards each other, bro. Like some crazy hate just because y'all not good.
The the eye during the
This
playoffs,
is crazy,
giving her
bro.
a black eye. And Clark averaged 4.2 fouls drawn per game, which is the
damn.
top amongst rookies. And how did Clark respond? With pure class.
Yeah, I think everybody's physical with me. You know, they get away with things that, you know, probably other people don't get away with. And it's tough, but that's just the fact of the matter. Is like, this is a very physical game.
Literally treating her like the Michael Jordan and the Pistons
The racial
game.
dynamics became impossible to ignore. Asia Wilson said Clark's popularity advantage was a matter of black and white. Pat McAfee sparked
I don't got
outrage
nothing to do
by
with
saying
that.
this about Caitlin Clark.
This rookie class, nah. Just call it for what it is. There's one white for the Indiana team who is a superstar.
Clark addressed her privilege head-on in Time magazine, saying, as a white person, there is privilege. This league has been built on black players. She consistently called out racist fan behavior. People should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing and it's not acceptable. So let me get this straight. The WNBA has one player who's single-handedly responsible for tripling viewership, breaking attendance records, and driving merchandise sales through the roof. And the league's response is to let other players treat her like a punching bag while demanding she apologize for her success. But here's the kicker that really shows you how backwards this whole thing is. Caitlin Clark was the #1 overall pick in the 2024 draft that saved the WNBA's 2024 season. She made $76,535 in her rookie year. Her 4-year contract is worth $338,000. Victor Wembanyama, on the other hand, the #1 overall pick from the very same draft for the NBA, made $12.1 million in his first year with a 4-year deal worth $55.2 million. Wemby earns 163 times more than Clark. The current WNBA salary structure is a joke. The minimum is $66,079 for rookies. The average is $102,249 and the supermax is $249,244. The entire team's salary cap is $1.46 million, less than what most NBA bench players make. But granted, the WNBA season is about 2.5 months.
I'm sure the G League makes more money than the WNBA too as well, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
And this is why about 50% of WNBA players still play overseas despite the risks. Diana Taurasi made $1 million in Russia, 14 times her WNBA salary. Brittany Griner earned $600,000 for a 4-month season in China. Players can make $175,000 to $600,000 plus overseas compared to their WNBA paychecks.
Damn. So they can make more money overseas than playing in the WNBA.
Getting more money. And you know what? I actually agree with that. But here's where their business sense completely falls apart, and why this protest shows they have no idea how to actually get what they want.
Oh, shit.
The current CBA expires on October 31st, 2025, and the players opted out back in October of 2024, literally right after the finals ended. They're seeking what they call a transformational change. Here's what they want: salary caps of $4 to $5 million per team and individual salaries up to $1 million. That would be roughly triple or quadruple their current levels. Now, to be fair to the players, this is the first time in the league's 28-year history that they've had real leverage in CBA negotiations. For 25 plus years, the league has dominated these negotiations. The league's popularity has skyrocketed. TV ratings have gone through the roof. Ticket sales have increased. Jersey sales have ballooned. The WNBA is objectively making more money than they did 5 or 6 years ago. The July 18th meeting in Indianapolis included all of the young stars. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, alongside the veterans. Brianna Stewart didn't hold back. It was a wasted opportunity. Based on their most recent proposal, we just aren't able to get to a place where we're actually even talking about the same thing. Our first offer and then their counter was like black and white. Their commissioner painted a rosier picture, calling it constructive and saying she was really optimistic that we'll get something done that would be transformational. But she kept emphasizing that they need to balance player compensation with team profitability. Here's where players show that they have absolutely zero business sense. They're demanding NBA level revenue sharing from a league that's never made money. But instead of focusing on growing the pie, they're fighting over crumbs.
So they are asking for
WNBA. The WNBA's success in 2024. You don't have to be a genius to figure it out. It wasn't the veteran players who've been there for years. It wasn't the established stars. It was one rookie, Caitlin Clark, who brought in millions of viewers. And how did the league and play?
Caitlin Clark, one person brought all of that, bro. That's the only reason
why. They let
why.
her get bullied, minimized her impact, secluded her from the Olympic Games, which could have been a huge stream of new eyeballs
They
to the
secluded
product,
her
and
from
made
that?
everything about race instead of basketball. Charles Barkley called it out perfectly.
These ladies, and I'm
They
a
just don't like her.
fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. There's been so much
animosity is crazy,
and a lot of it is just petty jealousness.
What's bad is instead of talking about all the good things happening in the WNBA, we're talking about negativity. Now, here's where they could actually be a reasonable middle ground. What if the league just paid players enough money so they don't have to go overseas? That could be a massive win-win for everyone. The WNBA gets to keep their salaries relatively reasonable, players get enough money to stay in the US full-time, and the league gets to keep their talent here year-round to build the brand. Meanwhile, Clark made $11.1 million in 2024, but only $100,000 came from basketball. The rest was from endorsements. $28 million from Nike over 8 years, deals with Wilson for signature basketballs, and various other sponsors. That's the business model right there. Instead of fighting
she make a lot of money, man.
That loses money, focus on building individual brands that can command serious endorsement money. But instead, they chose to alienate the one player who proved it was possible.
I know they was gonna make hella money, endorsement money.
There's actually a massive opportunity coming that could change everything if the players don't blow it. Starting in 2026, the WNBA's media rights deal jumps from $60 million to $200 million annually through new deals with Disney, NBC, and Amazon. Add potential CBS renewals and it could hit $260 million plus. The $140 to $200 million increase could theoretically turn that $40 million loss into a $100+ million profit overnight. Suddenly, those player demands for higher salaries start to make a little bit more sense. But here's the problem. If no CBA deals reached by October 31st, we're looking at the first work stoppage in WNBA history. The Toronto and Portland expansion plans get disrupted. 80% of players become free agents with nowhere to sign. Multiple All-Stars have mentioned that they're prepared for a lockout. The new rival league, Unrivaled, pays an average of $220,000 for just 10 weeks, showing that players have options. So let me break this down for you. The WNBA is sitting on the biggest opportunity in women's sports history. They have a media deal that can make them profitable for the first time ever. They have a superstar in Caitlin Clark who's proven that she can bring in massive audiences. They have momentum, attention, and public support. And what are they doing? They're fighting over money that doesn't exist instead of working together to capitalize on the money that's coming. The tragedy of the WNBA is this is a league that has tremendous potential and a huge opportunity to explode, but they can't stop getting in their own way. They can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. The players showed their lack of business sense by wearing those pay what you owe us shirts while demanding
y'all shot yourself in the foot with that
money. But more importantly, they showed it by treating their biggest draw like garbage instead of protecting and promoting her. Imagine if the NBA in the 1980s had let players beat up Magic Johnson and Larry Bird because they were getting too much attention. Imagine if they told Michael Jordan to apologize for being popular. That's essentially what the WNBA did to Caitlin Clark in 2024. Look, I actually think the WNBA players deserve more money. The salary structure is embarrassing, and with the new TV deal coming, there's a real opportunity for significant raises. But demanding NBA money while treating your biggest star like a punching bag and posting 28 years straight of losses, that's not business sense, that's delusion. The WNBA could learn a lot from how other leagues have grown.
That's a moment for you.
Focus on your stars, protect your marketable players, and build the brand before you fight over profits. Instead, they're about to potentially have their first lockout as they're poised for their biggest breakthrough. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree with the WNBA players? Should they be getting paid more money? Or do you think this is just another case of WNBA players that have no idea how business works?
Yes, this is a good example of WNBA players not knowing how business works and them just shooting themselves in the foot. Let me know down in the comments and what you guys think upon this video, man. Do you guys agree with Lauren down the rim? You know what I'm saying? Letting these girls dunk on each other, all types of other ish. But yeah, man, you guys, let me know in the comments. You feel me? Whether if WNBA stars deserve to get paid more, man. It's your boy Khalil. You feel me? I'm sleepy as hell. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. By the way, hit that notification bell. It's your boy Lil. And I'm out, man. Peace.